Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, CM Punk's Raw promo was a little unexpected.
WWE stars allegedly don't want to work with CM Punk.
We've got AEW's Backstage reaction to Punk joining WWE.
And a wild name was Backstage at last night's Raw. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
Today, the H stands for Hey. We've got a second video coming later on. Some AEW news, some Drew McIntyre news, whole bunch of stuff. Look out for that about 5 p.m. UK time, midday on the East Coast. But for now, we're going to talk about that guy again, because he is just a gift to the content. CM Punk's Raw promo, a little unexpected, a little strange. We're going to give you all the reactions, and I think we're going to give you a very balanced take on it. You don't get many of those on Twitter, so we might as well try and provide one. Right. Last thing on the show. Final 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
It wasn't terribly long. It came right at the end. He was only really talking for a few minutes, really. But he came out, massive pop, obviously, returning at Survivor Series. It was amazing. Great return. He came out, said, I'm home. Michael Hamflett and a bunch of other people called that in advance. Just said a bunch of things, really. He said he was tired of being nice. WWE, sorry, no, he said that in AEW. Not here. I'm getting confused. That was 5 months ago. He said WWE was where he belongs. He was being nice in this one. Name dropped a bunch of different people. AJ, of course, his wife.
That was
she
lovely.
said, hey, she's fine. She's doing well. Name dropped Paul Heyman a little bit, a little veiled reference, and saying that coming back at Survivor Series was like a family reunion, everyone hugging him, or at least almost everyone. He said that anyone who wasn't happy to see him there was afraid of the truth, and that Punk is the best in the world, no one can touch him, blah, 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 usual character stuff. Said he's going to raise the bar to unattainable levels, and he has the brass ring in his back pocket, which is a nice little line for sure. And as he was kind of signing off, people in the arena might not have picked up on this because he didn't say it into the microphone. But as the camera was right in his face, he said, I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make money, which is a great little line. And it comes after earlier in the evening, Seth Rollins had just called him a hypocrite. So, probably leading to something. I've got a lot of opinions on this, but I tell you what, I don't know your opinion on this, because we just started work. What do you think?
I think wrestling fans seem to want films to end in the first 5 minutes. They've established where they're going with this. He's come back at Survivor Series, which is arguably one of the worst times to come back because nothing happens in December, hence why they've got Cody just doing some stuff with Shinsuke before they can get to the Rumble and the road to WrestleMania and what have you. I think this is a long play, obviously, for Seth versus Punk. And I think arguably they've gauged the reaction of people are going to be happy to see Punk, but then a lot of people are going to be like, wait a second, isn't that the guy who slagged off this company? Or if they're fans of AEW, well, he's a complete hypocrite. I think they're arguably leaning into this somewhat by him being rather disingenuous.
Yeah.
I think the fact he took the mic away and then said, I'm here to make friends, I'm here to make money, and the fact that Seth had already called him out for being a hypocrite, and he's just like, well, I'm home, everything's fine, and everyone loves me backstage. I really like the way that they intimated the direction that they're going to head with this one, but I also understand why people are frustrated, because if you take it at face value, you think, oh, so we're just forgetting that the last few years and certainly the last few promos and podcasts ever happened, and it wasn't the scorched earth stuff that you got when he first arrived in AEW or returned to AEW.
Would have been funny, but he'd probably get sued if he did that.
Yeah,
going by Tony Khan's recent comments.
Yes, to a close friend of mine, Steve Herman, who I used to work in radio with,
nice.
from BBC WM. He asked him about it, and Tony Khan said, I can't legally talk about it.
Yeah, you get a lawsuit into the Sun. So, I thought the promo was rubbish. But, okay, so you in situations like this, there's always two sides of people that go way too far, right? Over here, you have it sucked, it was awful, blah, blah, blah. It could never be good because it was crap at the first stage. What you're talking about, the first 5 minutes thing.
Punk's washed in WWE
he's
already.
Finished. P-Pen Punk. Pill Pooks. Pill Prooks? Yeah, I don't know. People are like, yeah, it can't be good, it was crap, the first stage was good, so how could it was bad, so how could it ever be good? And then over here you have the Let It Play Out Brigade who are like, well, it's going to be good in 6 weeks, so it's great now. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle.
I agree, yeah.
I thought this was a crap promo, bad. I thought it sucked his aura away. I thought he came across just like another guy reading from a script. There was none of the special Punk presence that he has, and I don't believe that he needs needs to like shoot on people.
No.
I don't believe he needs to talk about counterfeit bucks in One Bill Film. Although he did have a veiled reference here or there in this one. I don't think he needs to do that to still carry a presence in an aura. The great hope of CM Punk in WWE is that he feels a bit different. You feel that you want that everywhere because he's just the most interesting man in the world, whether you love him or hate him. So I thought on the night it was really disappointing, and I personally thought it was a bad promo. And you know how much I love the Survivor Series thing, and you know how much I love Punk in general. We gush about him every day. That being said, I do believe it is heading to something. I do believe it is building to the Seth Rollins hypocrite thing. Punk came across like a massive hypocrite in the promo, and I think that was by design, like you said. So I think actually, and look, this is going to come across as a massive fence-sitting argument because I tweeted both things. I think both sides, there's an element of truth. I thought this was a crap first step to something that will eventually become good. I don't think that it becoming good excuses the first step, but if it's by design, it's like, okay, cool. Like, if it works out in the end, I'm okay to have this crap first step.
I'm most intrigued by what everyone says about this in the comments, so please have it out because I've already seen a lot of varying takes online about this one.
I did a little experiment this morning, went onto the YouTube community, posted a poll because our YouTube community people, very positive, very positive people. And if you went on X/Twitter, you would have just seen walls of negativity. I'm sure, and a few guys in your mentions going, actually, you're wrong. With no nuance and no debate. But I posted it on community because I figured, okay, if most people really do think this sucks, it'll reflect on the community because the community is really positive. The community was like 72% up and like 28 down or something. So, hey, it's in line with consensus. But yes, please let us know what you think. We don't need to encourage you to engage on CM Punk topics, but please do.
Who would have known that X would have been a hellscape of negativity?
Yeah. Or just like, you know what it is? It's a mix of toxic negativity and toxic positivity.
Yes.
Yeah, and you got both sides crashing into each other.
And if you're somewhere in the middle, everyone's like, screw you!
Yeah, you know what? The perfect space to occupy as these two sides come together and storm is the eye of the storm.
And do you know what the worst place to occupy is? Threads. Ugh.
Oh gosh.
Who's bothering with that bollocks
Pour one
nowadays?
out for Threads.
That got a tepid response.
That's a beer can. I probably shouldn't have that on camera.
So
it's empty. Sorry.
That pamphlet's, probably. CM Punk's return has been met with a tepid response as well. I said tepid about Threads, it's okay. Reports by Will Select. Several wrestlers have indicated that they don't want to work with him and would consider departing the market-leading promotion, but they haven't heard of any, the outlet being Fightful Select, haven't heard of any requests for the release. But the overall reaction, let's be honest, hasn't been as wild as expected. Some talents have been seeking assurances on the 45-year-old and how he will be in the company going forward. Yeah, I understand that bringing Punk in would make some people nervous and maybe make some people reconsider their position.
Yeah, absolutely. You bring in a guy who has a history of falling out with people. It's natural that the people who might fall out with him are like, hey, what's going on? I need some kind of assurances here. And I understand anyone who doesn't want to work with him, for sure. He's not had the most positive working relationship with everyone he's come into contact with. That's putting it very mildly. That being said, there's a S-load of money, I almost swore there, an S-load of money to be made with this geezer, with anyone who wants to do it. Him and Randy Orton sharing that little glance on the pay-per-view was very telling. I thought, hello. And, you know, it's going to work out for a lot of people. Almost dropped my phone. Some people, he's probably going to fall out with. It's CM Punk. This is what he does. Like, he's best friends with some people, mortal enemies with other.
Yeah, and there'll also be some people who you think, what?
Yeah.
That he's going to become friends with or put an arm around their shoulder and it's going to come out of nowhere, and then other people he's going to feud with, you're going to be like, well, why that guy?
Yeah.
It's just the way it happens, although he's going to be on better behaviour, I sense, within the Fed.
Yeah, this is it. I can't wait till he's best mates with Otis and beefing backstage with Paul Heyman. Why the heck not?
Could happen. It could happen.
Why the hell not? Right, let's cover a little bit of AEW's backstage reaction to all of this. This is actually from the same Fightful Select report that you just covered, but I thought the AEW stuff was interesting enough on its own. According to Fightful, on Saturday, which is when all this happened, when he debuted at Survivor Series. Apparently, yes, Tony Khan was more concerned about Katsuyori Shibata leaving Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
So Shibata, if you missed those reports, he's on his way back to Japan for an extended period. He's leaving America for a while, which is why he lost the Ring of Honor Pure title and why they did an angle like playing on that time he had his brain taken out of his skull, like Krang, as Dave Meltzer wrote a couple of years ago. I know they were obviously playing on the very real head trauma that he saw that almost took his life.
Yes.
Which got some mixed reactions, but apparently Shibata himself was in love with it. So, okay. Fair play. So
I think the person's all right with it. I don't think you can complain on their behalf.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough if it's not something that's going to like. If it's not making fun of like someone's addiction or something, right? That affects millions and millions of people.
And it's Shibata. He's not going to be strong-armed into it, is it? You're going to say, "Can we do this?" And
like
he's gone, "Yeah."
Toughest wrestler of all time. But there's a little bit
hell
more.
of an aura about him as well.
Real presence. He's a scary dude. He's one of my favorites of all time. But yeah, some people had asked if Punk was going to be involved in the Devil. Some people within WWE had been like, "Hey, was he going to be the Devil?" No, he was never going to be involved in that. Fightful note as well that within AEW, most reactions from talent in AEW have been like, "What's the reaction been like in WWE?" They're just curious to know how he's kind of ruffled feathers potentially there. But yeah, there you go. That's the AEW reaction. Again, very tepid.
Yeah, I think it's going to people were thinking it was going to be more, fury over here, or like you say, right, that's it. I'm handing my request to leave, and people are just like, ironically, considering what we said earlier, let's let it play out a bit.
yeah.
But I'll tell you who else CM Punk brought with him. Actually, I don't know if they came together. I've just completely made that up. I'll tell you who else was backstage on Monday Night Raw. Former TNA president Dixie Carter. What?
She's joining the Fed.
She's going to manage CM Punk. She's going to be his mouthpiece, apparently.
That's how you turn this promo around. Dixie.
Mike Johnson of PW Insider broke the news that Carter was visiting the show yesterday. Obviously not involved in the wrestling. Despite her past with TNA. There was a nice photo of her with former TNA stars Cody Rhodes and the former Magnus Nick Aldis doing the rounds on socials. So maybe they just were in town and she thought, you know what, I'm going to go and see Nick and Cody.
She's based out of Nashville.
But I'm sure some wrestling fans went, what?
It's Dixie time, brother. Yeah, interesting to see. It's always funny seeing Dixie crop back up because she's been out of the public eye for like 6 years now. Since Anthem took over Impact. Made it Impact, then made it Global Force Wrestling, and then made it Impact. And it's going to be TNA again. It's a whole deal. But yeah, she presided over one of the deeply weirdest periods in a pro wrestling company's history. So, like, always got time for the chaos of Dixie Carter.
Yeah, sure. I always have a special place in my heart, Dixie Carter.
She made some bad decisions, admittedly. But at the same time, most of them were pretty funny. So...
Hey, look, it was an amazing sideshow to watch. Like...
a freak show.
I know, AEW is now WWE's genuine competition. And like TNA attempted it, but when it wasn't actually challenging, WWE on like Monday nights or whatever, it was just fascinating to be like, okay, Fed's a bit dull and boring because there's no one else really challenging. Let's see what's going on in TNA. What?
Yeah, secret Vince Russo return, losing your TV deal. Wild.
I don't really like battle royals. Anyway, we can change that.
All right, Hogan and Bischoff, let's go. What a company. It's better now.
Yeah, I always think of Dixie Carter being dragged by Hogan along the ramp when she's like, don't go. Let us know your favourite Dixie Carter moment in the comment section below. We'll move on to your Twitter questions. At WhatCulture WWE, of course, you want to get in touch with us. Thomas starts us off. Question of the day, do you think CM Punk will end up as a Paul Heyman guy again, or do you think that ship is long gone?
I don't think they'll do it. I think they'll probably do some. They'll have some kind of on-screen interaction.
Yes.
It's too cute not to. But I don't think they'll go full teaming advocate, man, Punk, manager. I don't think they'll go the full route. I don't think Punk needs it, and I don't think Heyman needs it.
No, I mean, I don't know how long Paul Heyman, I mean, he might want to stay in until the very end, but I sense his years are limited, and I wouldn't waste the talents of Paul Heyman on someone who doesn't need it like CM Punk, like you say. Like, if we've decided, okay, well, Heyman's not going to have anything to do after April because Rome's just going to disappear after he drops the title to, please God, Cody. Bron Breaker's right there. You don't need to do it. Like you say, absolutely have a thing between them. You don't even necessarily have to make it a part of a feud. You can just have a fun huh, good to see you again, pal.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. But yeah, he doesn't need it, and I think it'd be beneficial for Punk, as he always does, to reinvent himself each time he either comes back to a company or comes in and does something different. And I think just reverting back to Paul Heyman guy shtick, not for me.
Not it.
Chris, oh brother, I'm so sorry, Chris. I'm going to butcher your name. Bjerregaard?
Okay.
Bjerris.
Okay.
Little Bjerregaard, I'm going to go with.
Danish, perhaps? Let us know, Chris.
We're
idiots, so let us know.
British Columbia, but yeah, I love the surname. I just can't, just probably butchered it. Sorry, Chris. Anyway, I'm curious as to what your take on the thesis. I've nailed the surname and I forgot how to say the word thesis. I'm curious as to what your take on the thesis of this return promo was.
Yeah.
Being, I'm here to make money, versus the first dance promo being a rekindling of his love of the game. I think it's sort of personified by what we said earlier.
Yeah, I think so. I think that it'll turn out that the reason, the stuff he said at the beginning, I'm home, blah, 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 all of that stuff, was the reason it feels that was fake was because it was fake, and he, at the end of the day, is a mercenary now.
Yeah.
I think they're going to go corporate punk, which could be really good. I do think that they will write this course, and I think I'll be into it in like a week or two. But yeah, like, it's really interesting, like, because the earnestness that poured, like, the heartfelt feeling that poured out of his collision, well, maybe not, maybe his first dance promo, rather than his collision one, which was just a shooting range. I think that the earnestness that was in that was completely missing from this one, and I think it's interesting to compare and contrast.
Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? I think if this had been a few years ago, you'd have just automatically assumed, or I certainly would have automatically assumed, oh, they've completely defanged him. He's gone back and they've gone, nah, you are getting everything pre-approved, and in fact, we're going to tell you exactly what you say when you go out there. I just got a sense, and maybe it's me being more hopeful than you know, just accepting that this maybe was a bit of a miss in terms of a promo. I just got a sense of him, ironically, considering what's going on in AEW, putting on a bit of a mask and pretending to be someone he's not, and Seth Rollins to be the guy being like, that's not you at all.
Yeah.
You git.
Do you reckon he's going to get taken to that place?
I think he's going to go to that dark place and become corrupted. The C in CM Punk is going to stand for corrupted.
Corrupted magnet punk.
Corrupted magnet. It repels things instead of attracting them.
Well, that'd be quite appropriate in a lot of ways.
Right.
Look, he left AEW and repelled their audience.
Right, let's get to the final question of the day from Angela Dawn. Thank you as always, Angela. It was lovely to hear from you. Aside from when she's trying to set up shoot fights between me and Will Ospreay. Hi, Angela. She says, which wrestlers would you want to verbally destroy you on the mic during a promo? And you can't say Adam's best friend MJF. Obviously not.
Sid.
You said you had a good answer prepared.
Sid? Yeah, absolutely. He would immediately tell me that he has half the brain that I do, and I'd be quite satisfied with that. So yeah, Sid.
I saw a great clip of Sid pinning Sean in MSG just the other day, and it's so funny because obviously Sid's just he's a god to these people.
He's a god to me.
And there's one woman, if you watch it back there for the pinfall, there's one woman on the front row who's like, come on, Sean! Bang! 1, 2, 3, she slumps down and everyone else in MSG's like, yeah!
Have you ever seen the old WCW clip of him finding his car has been crushed? Oh my god. Oh no!
It's on it.
Yeah. Goldberg!
It's one of the clips that makes you think, I really wish young me had been able to watch WCW. Like, I look back on it, yeah. I have the brain that you do, and it's like, it's all nice. Don't say that to them.
I used to be in an E-Fed with a guy called Tiger Sid, and his pick base was Sid, right? So he had these things where it was like pictures of Sid, but he cut promos like he was Hulk Hogan. It was the weirdest thing you've ever seen. Like
Tiger Sid.
Yeah, Tiger Sid, El Tigre, legend of the game. Shout out to Tiger Sid, and maybe a half person on this video who's watching and knows what the hell I'm talking about.
I mean, it doesn't really matter who I said to follow that, but I was genuinely going to say the Outrunners.
Yeah, they would cook you, brother. The youngest man
I watched it again just yesterday. If you're anything like me, you know I am.
Did you see...
What was it? Didn't it say, this isn't sweat?
It's sports gloss.
This is sports gloss.
What the hell are they
Let me tell you something. That really hurt.
Yeah.
If you're not watching the Outrunners, you're not a wrestling fan. I'm sorry.
You're not a fan of just general
No,
enjoyment in life.
it'll bring light to your day. If you're like, oh, that Punk promo is a little bit of a letdown, go and watch the Outrunners promo from, was it Ring of Honor?
Ring of Honor
Yeah.
every week. They do it every week. It's wild.
Was it Lex Hughes with them? Because whoever it is looks like they're having the time of their life. They just go and go.
Yeah, do the thing, guys. Do the thing. She's great. She's really growing into her role. Did you see one of the engagement accounts? I think it was Drain Bamager posted like, AEW has these wrestlers under 30, and there was like 15 wrestlers.
I did see that, yeah.
Turbo Floyd quote tweeted and said, I'm under 18.
He's the best guy. Well, him and Truth Magnum are the best guys in wrestling.
The youngest man alive. Hey, and if you want to become the youngest viewer alive, check this one out. There's nothing over this one. Bye.